I want to bring Dave Bossie in now, president of Citizens United. Dave, I don't even know where to start. What in the world is going on here? Is this like Real Housewives of New Jersey without the table being overthrown? Then again, a few
it's
tables.
Early.
Yeah, it's early. Look, how long is this going to go on? I've got dinner plans tonight, Dave.
I think you might have to change those.
Really?
David, it doesn't look like there's a real plan that gets us to a resolution of the speaker's battle right now. They, as you were just mentioning, Steve Scalise has now nominated Kevin McCarthy now on the third ballot. What I believe is happening is Jim Jordan did it on the second ballot. Steve Scalise is doing it on the third ballot to try to show the conference and those 19 that are opposed that the other conservatives, the other conservative leaders who people might look to run against McCarthy are for McCarthy. And so I think no matter how disappointed some of the conservatives are of those 19, I think that Scalise and Jordan are the best two possibilities to beat Jim Jordan, to beat Kevin McCarthy if he's going to be defeated.
So, Dave, help me out here. I mean, how long does Kevin McCarthy, when does he kind of pack it up and say it's not happening? I mean, we're already getting word that Congressman Byron McDonald's here from Florida is going to change his vote. That he was for McCarthy. He's now not going to be for McCarthy, whoever is going to be nominated. I'm assuming Jordan will be nominated again on the third ballot. So, and there's another congressman, we don't have the name yet, apparently, we're hearing that's going to change their vote away from McCarthy. I mean, how, at some point, what's the end game here? I'm trying to understand the end game here because Jordan's obviously not going to have the votes. McCarthy's not going to have the votes. So, what? I mean, please don't tell me Speaker Fred Upton. I mean, please don't tell me Speaker Fred Upton. Seriously.
Yeah, no, David, I don't think any of those, those schemes that you're just intimating here with Upton and others that people talk about, other people who are not in Congress. I don't think that those are reality based, but I do believe this, that at some point Kevin McCarthy is going to come to the realization that those 19 members, and if Byron Donalds and if maybe one or two others changes their votes, and that 19 goes up to 20 or 21, instead of decreasing increases, that's a sign that Kevin McCarthy is probably finished, and that the conservative movement, if you will, has a huge victory on its hands by defeating what they consider the swamp continuing and the continuing of business as usual. So if that happens and Kevin McCarthy determines that it's over for him, that's when it opens up to other people. And I would submit to you that Jim Jordan, who is the beneficiary of those 19 votes, is somebody who is incredibly well liked amongst the Republican conference. He is somebody who is seen as a true conservative leader within the Republican Party across this country. He is somebody who's done the heavy lifting over the last 2 years of this Biden administration, and somebody who Donald Trump turned to for 4 years of his presidency to help get important things done in the House of Representatives. It's hard to imagine those 19 people who are the reasons that Kevin McCarthy isn't going to be speaker, that they're going to oppose Jim Jordan if the rest of the conference comes to him as the solution. And that's where I see this heading, which I think is a great, great day, for the conservative movement, for the Republican Party.
Well, that won't be the narrative, obviously, with the New York Times. Forget the New York Times, but even conservatives are like, we're giving, the Democrats are getting what they want here, which is Republicans duking it out amongst themselves.
David, stop for a second.
Yeah.
You know what? The mainstream media wants everybody to see disarray. This isn't disarray. This is the process. This is democracy. This is what we are about. This hasn't happened in 150 years. Guess what? We have a divided country. Right. That's where we are. The last November, just 8 short weeks ago, we had a very divided elections day across this map. And you see a divided Senate, almost 50-50. You see an almost 50-50 House. That's the definition of divided. So this is part of the process. Nobody's going to remember today a month from now. The sausage making of today will be forgotten once that speaker and the new leadership team takes hold. And I think that's the most important thing for the American people is the Republicans coalesce around somebody, whether it's today or tomorrow, and that we move forward with the conservative vision of closing the borders, of securing our borders, of shutting down the fentanyl, of funding our police departments, of making our military, strong again. We have so many problems that American people elected Republicans to solve, and the budgets and balanced budgets and getting our spending under control and getting inflation under control is top of the list. So we have to get on to that, but we have to get our leader first. And I think that I like this process. I'm not somebody who thinks that this is a problem for America.
So, Dave, I got 30 seconds or less. If you're a betting man, I'm not saying you are, or you're not, or whatever. But is it Scalise at the end of the day? Who do you think? Where do you think? Who's the guy? Do you think?
I love Steve Scalise. I think he's a tremendous leader. But I do think Jim Jordan is the person who comes out, because he has those 19 votes right now.
Right.
And therefore, there can't be opposition. If there's 19 could oppose to Scalise as well. We know where those 19 will be if Jim Jordan is the candidate that the conference coalesces around.
Dave Bossie, great to have you. And while we have you, let's just put this up, the House floor, Austin. Let's go ahead and do that. They're now in the middle of the third vote. And just so you know while we were talking, indeed, Chip Roy, obviously ultra-conservative guy, very conservative guy, did nominate Jim Jordan. So it's Jordan, McCarthy, and Jeffries again. And Dave, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for coming on.